Here's what you need to know. Because the owner of this property now knows that if I pay it monthly until I pay it down by $44,056, the bank is going to charge $47,000 in interest. Then if we prepay it, here's another word for you. If I give the bank that money when I want to, when I choose the timing, when we disrupt the bank's timing by giving them the $4,056.68 early, I am now purchasing my equity for free because I now do not have to pay them $47,173.85 to get it. I'm wondering if everybody just understood what I just said. Are you catching it? Do you understand what I'm saying? Normally, by paying monthly to pay your loan down by $4,000, it would cost $47,000 in interest to do it. This way, it doesn't cost that. So here's what we've got. I need you to now, if you want to see it a little differently, I'm going to break this down for you just a little bit differently. So we're going to go into this loan. All right. That's loan number 9. I need you to see something here. We got loan number 9. All right. Let's see. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. We owe $487,000 on this loan at 6.5%. So I'm going to bring up an amortization schedule, $487,000. Okay. So we're going to put in $487,000 at 6.5% for 30 years. My payment on this is $3,078.17. Okay. So remember, we went here to mortgage number 9 and we were going to prepay on this loan. We're going to take it back so that you can see we were going to prepay $4,056.68. $4,056. Now, let me go back to the amortization schedule, and I need you to take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. All right. When you take a look at this, look at what's going on here. Okay. I need you to see this. Wow, wow, wow. Look at this. When we're paying $440 goes to principal, $2,600 goes to interest. So if we take a look at this thing and see, when we take a look at how the bank wants us to pay it, this is our equity each month. $400, $450. Each month, this is our equity we're buying, and we're paying $2,600 every single month in the first part of this loan just to buy $400 worth of equity each and every month. Are you seeing that? So if I look at payment number 1 and make my very first payment on this mortgage, but I look at the principal payment on line 2, I don't have to wait till next month to give the bank that $442. I don't have to. Okay. What I'm doing is if I give them the $442 early, I do not have to pay them the $2,600 in interest. I just saved that in interest. So if we take a look at prepaying, let's say we prepay some money on this loan, we can save a ton of money in interest. So if I do the first year, on this loan, look at this. I pay this loan down by $5,000 in the first year. Are you seeing this? I pay it down by $5,000 in the first year. And the bank wants $31,000 from me in interest if I do it their way. If I pay it monthly, I give them $5,443.33. I also have to give them $31,000 in interest to do that. Does anybody want to pay $31,000 for $5,000 worth of equity? Does anybody want to do that? But if I pay it when I want to, let's just say I had it. I'm not saying that this is exactly what you would do, but by following our program, let's say the program says prepay that amount of money. Don't pay it in 12 monthly installments. Pay it all at one time. You could be paid down to here, down to line 12 in 1 month, and that saves you that interest you would have paid. Now this equity, $5,443, doesn't cost me $31,494.71. This amount of equity only costs me this much money, $2,600. $637.92 instead of $31,000. Folks, if you're going to be purchasing equity, which would you rather? Purchase $5,400 worth of equity at $2,600 or $31,000 doing it the bank's way? Now, this is what I need to show you to give you some background. Okay. So as the program continues to do this, to put all this money on the debt and then figure out how much interest we save, periodically, it says, when you're putting that money in savings, it says we need to go ahead and put some money on the debt out of our profits. Okay. Put a little bit of money on the debt out of our profits. And by doing that, look at this window up here. Eventually, we're going to save $1,459,233. And remember, we're supposed to be out of debt by 2052. I'm going to show you a report here, and it's called net worth. And so I'm going to show you something that's very, very powerful. We're going to click on wealth accumulation. The idea that we can cash flow and make good money and pay every dime of the interest that the bank wants. This is the formula the bank loves. You make money, more money than you've ever seen before, getting equity like you've never received before. I mean, your net worth, because you're buying $3 million worth of property that's going to be worth a whole lot more in the future, but you're paying for it now. But you're paying every dime in interest that the bank is looking for. You're spending your children's inheritance on interest. We're supposed to be laying up an inheritance for our children's children, but we are being taught to spend our children's inheritance on interest. I'm going to show you now what I mean by looking at the assets and liabilities. We're going to take a look at the wealth accumulation, and by being able to pay this principal off, the $2,947,500, and save $1,459,233 in interest that we don't have to pay to acquire the same asset. Does that mean, therefore, you could then, if you had planned to spend that $1,459,000, could you now invest it in other properties and grow that money instead of giving it to the bank? $1,459,000 in interest you would have paid, would been okay to pay, because you are making money on the properties. Why not make monies on the properties and be able to pay $1,459,000 less for it? So when you do that, remember that June of 2052, look what happens here. We're actually going to be done in 2042 paying off the loans. And at the end of the year of 2042, if we take that money and invest it, by the end of the year 2042, we'll have $144,648.56. And the property's paid off. $2.9 million worth of property. And we're taking that money and investing it. The money we would have paid, we're now investing that money. And at the end of 2042, we're at $144,000. At the end of the next year, we're at $385,000. I'm going to skip down to 2052. By the time we were supposed to pay off the loans, okay, by the time we were supposed to pay off those loans, we would just have the loans paid off. But in this case, we can pay off the loans early, take that money we would have given to the bank, and by the time we have had these loans paid off by 2052, we would have $3,090,000 in the bank. And I haven't even told you the best part. By taking that money and investing it at 1% interest, that's what this number is. This is 1% return on the investor's money. At the time they were supposed to pay the loans off, they would have $3,090,000 in the bank in their investment. And that's at a 1% return on their money. That's practically nothing. You can definitely earn more on your money than 1%. And this way, they can earn more money with the interest they would have paid the bank. They can earn more money with the interest they would have paid to the bank than they've ever paid interest in their lives up to this point. Folks, this is what we're talking about. Take that money that would have gone to the bank, invest that money, and turn it into millions.
But Don has some valuable information that can contribute to the quality of a person's life. And it only costs you a few dollars. It's his book. Why not get that?
I'm going to go through the P.I.L.L method myself with some of my investment properties. So I'm going to link up with Don, and then I'm going to sit down with him, show him my investment portfolio, and see how I can eliminate interest.